Chapter 2, the missing essential, his personality. Email and texting have gotten me into a lot of trouble. The reason is simple. Those who receive my electronic missives cannot hear my tone of voice or see the expression on my face as they interpret my words. A very dangerous vacuum. Disembodied words have a way of being haunted. Too many times I've sent along something intended as playful, but without that twinkle in my eye or the slight grin on my face, so essential to understanding my motives, my readers have taken the playful comment seriously and been hurt by it. Sometimes I have intended a word of correction, but it was dashed off in a hurry, and again, without the smile on my face and reassuring tone of voice so essential to convey my heart, the message came across as harsh. This is the collective vacuum many of us bring to the Gospels. Without Jesus' tone of voice, what was in his eyes, the lift of an eyebrow, a suppressed smile, a tilt of the head, an unflinching gaze, we misinterpret a great deal of what we find there. Reading the Gospels without the personality of Jesus is like watching television with the sound turned off. You get a very dry, two-dimensional person doing strange, undecipherable things. Take this story as one example. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is suffering terribly from demonic possession." Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, "Send her away, because she keeps crying out after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." The woman came and knelt before him. "Lord, help me," she said. He replied, "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to their dogs." "Yes, Lord," she answered, "but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered, "Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted." And her daughter was healed from that very hour. Oh my, what do we make of this? I'm not here for you dogs? Many good people read this passage, cringe, and walk away with a subtle conviction that Jesus is a harder man than they thought. And, well, I guess that hardness is good somehow. Some go on to build theologies based on his hardness. But of course, if Jesus was being playful, well, that would change everything. Seriously now, what comes to mind when you think of Jesus Christ? It might be good to stop and do an inventory. Is Jesus near or far? Is he close at hand, right here at your elbow, or distant and engaged in loftier things? Does he have a sense of humor? What words would you use to describe him? If you gathered the many books on Jesus and combed them for the words most often used to describe him, you can guess beforehand what you would find. Love and compassion. Beautiful qualities, and certainly true of Jesus, but two-dimensional? I mean, especially when we color these virtues with religious tones, love turns sickly sweet and compassion soft and limp. How is it possible to genuinely and consistently love anything so two-dimensional? It's like trying to love a get well card. Think of the people you have most loved and trusted. Why did you love and trust them so? Was it because of one quality, or was it the funky, endearing combination of all those qualities which together make them who they are? Personality is what makes someone someone and not everyone or anyone. Last May, I had the opportunity, while in London, to visit the National Gallery. Loving art and being with two of my sons, one of whom is an art major, I was excited to spend hours there. I loved the Van Gogh, the Monet, the Rembrandt, and more. But there was one massive disappointment. No, it was more than disappointment, massive frustration. I did not see one portrait of Christ in all the famous works of him that came anywhere close to depicting Jesus as he really is? Not one. They are all wispy, pale Jesus, looking haunted, a ghost-like figure, floating along through life, making strange gestures and even undecipherable statements. The nativity scenes were particularly ridiculous. The classic art depicting the infant portray a rather mature baby, very white, radiantly clean, as no baby is ever clean, arms outstretched to reassure the nervous adults around him, intelligent, without need, halo glowing, conscious with an adult consciousness. Super baby. This infant clearly never pooped his diapers. He looks ready to take up the prime ministership. Why did it make me angry? Because when we lose his personality, we lose Jesus. I've been doing a good bit of reading in preparation for writing this book, and the chorus of voices when it comes to the personality of Jesus is unanimous. Everyone talks about his great acts of humility, faith, and compassion. What about his great acts of playfulness or cunning? What about his brilliance, his wit, his irreverence, the scandalous freedom with which he lives, his exasperation and impatience, not to mention his humanity? We have nearly forgotten that he was a man. Good grief. Your hamster seems to have a more fully developed personality than most portraits of Jesus. Furthermore, the loss of personality confounds our imitation of Christ. What happens is our particular brand of church seizes upon one or two of his virtues as the essence of Christ for us to follow. Justice, mercy, righteousness, whatever. You cannot live a life on one quality any more than you can speak intelligently using one word. The church continues to sound on about the love and compassion of Jesus like the village idiot banging out one note on the piano. After a while, the world turns away. Can you blame them? Alas, if only Jesus' followers shared his personality. That one shift alone would correct so many of the ridiculous and horrifying things that pass for popular Christianity. What is missing in our gospel reading and in our attempts to read what God is doing in our life today, this week, is Jesus' personality, undraped by religion. Let's see if we can find it.